You know, Obi took her on. If you'd find out if you listen to, Obi took her on
Exactly.
about the conventional route that people would usually take with their men.
All right, so I recorded. Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Self-Taught Novice with myself.
A new season, not another episode, dude.
Yeah, Asemo, I've forgotten. Guys, it's another episode. Hey,
Oh God.
it's a new season of the Self-Taught Novice podcast. I think that's it's the third season, right?
Season 3, yeah, come a long way, haven't we?
Yes, we've come a long way. And then thankfully, we are, unfortunately, actually, it's not really thankfully, but unfortunately, we are still recording via Zoom thanks to the COVID-19 restrictions and all that. So, Matt, what have you been up to during the break?
Okay, we went off for like a month and a half now, if my estimates are right. Well, aside the fact that we are all wrapping up service, and in principle, we were done a long time ago. It just was official within the last month. Just been holed up. Then a couple of, I think I traveled somewhere. I went outside Ashanti region for a while, and I was absent. Outside Kumasi, to be specific, I was in Accra too, and just to take care of business as usual. And I'm back on the podcast show, ready to give you quality content and have awkward conversations about the stuff we all like: tech, social issues, you name it.
Exactly, and it's fun having Maxwell around. I just lost my train of thought again. Anyway, that's that. It's unfortunate we are starting on that note, but then in the last episode we had
hormone therapy or something like.
In the last season we spoke to quite a number of people. A lot of people actually. A whole lot, over 14 people. Wow.
Yeah.
How were we able to achieve
That was
that?
quite the season. Well, the season we just ended, we had, I like to say that we had unusual motivation than most seasons. In fact, than the first season, because obviously the circumstances presented us, a lot of us really were torn from our usual schedules, and we had to adjust to a new normal. So let's be honest, the bottom really got their innovation and everything kicking. So we really got to the drawing board. I think that they reached out to me after suffering a nervous breakdown. I don't know why I edited that out of the audio. Suffering a nervous breakdown, he reached out to me and was like, yeah, he's ready to really give this a second go. And we got down to it. Got a lot of people on the podcast. For the sake of not spoiling anything, if you've not listened, you could go back and listen to all the previous episodes. Exciting content. We spoke to people all over the globe, not just Ghana, and it's pretty interesting. The fun thing about the last episode in review for me was that a lot of stuff we were doing was spontaneous.
Yeah,
much wasn't being planned for, and we just winged everything, and it turned out fine. And one particularly interesting part for me was when you and I sat down and we compared the data to make a couple of decisions. It turned out that we were making serious headway, and it pointed us in which direction and whatnot. And for me, that was a very intimate moment when it comes to how we are applying technology. I know we speak of it all the time, but when it gets to the time where we are using it ourselves and we are getting benefits, that's real.
That's true. And it's been a great roller coaster. I mean, certain things will obviously have to change in this season, and one is, we airing more of our opinions on certain things, and as such, we have decided that drum roll. I don't know. I won't insert drums into it. Anyway, it's a low budget show, So
no budget. Don't say low. No
okay,
budget.
no budget, never low. It's a no budget show. Anyway, so basically, Max and I have decided that we'll have an in-house boys only conversation once a week. We actually are sending out 2 episodes per week. So one will be a guest, one will be an in-house episode with.
What are we getting Silas over?
Silas, let me call him. Let me see. Let me call him.
Yeah, let's talk to Silas.
I really wonder how you
hear. You know why he's been on a podcast, isn't it?
Yeah. Let me see. What am I
doing? It's late too. I sure you get him.
Silas. You come and die and Silas at that.
Hey. Sorry.
Let me call him. I hope he picks though.
I'm sure the last time you spoke to him was like when? 19 December, huh?
No, I think last week or last 2 weeks we exchanged Instagram DMs.
Wow, that's very personal communication.
Yeah, but I call him from time to time. I mean, he's busy himself, so. Alright, looks like Silas isn't picking. Let me try again. If he doesn't pick, then we'll just move on to what we're talking about. But then we talk from time to time. He says so fast as the weekend, he doesn't mind coming on board to have a conversation. But if it's not the weekend, you'll be tied up at work.
Right. I think the sad assumption for both of us is Silas, just like us, might not have a social life, so he could be easily accessible. Understand? Yeah. Like
Alright, so Silas isn't picking. It's all good. I pray he calls back during the show.
Right.
Anyway, so I was saying that 2 episodes per week, and we are moving the release days to Mondays and Thursdays. So Mondays are for our guests, and Thursdays are for the boys only. That's when it will be aired, and where we talk around issues and topics within our niche, that's technology and capacity building, and mostly it's going to be more opinionated, factual opinions that can be backed with figures.
A lot of fact checking is going to happen.
Yeah, live fact checking. Exactly. Live fact checking to make sure we are doing the right thing. All right, so let's just let's just move into today's episode. And even though this is
today's episode.
Yeah.
But today's episode is just us talking about
what we are talking about random
stuff. Okay. Let's review last season's episode one by one. Brief.
Let's review them. Okay. So I think
14 episodes. We kicked it off with the very first person. Hold on. I'm checking it. The very first person was Gilgal Ansah. Gilgal is what? Gilgal, we spoke to Gilgal, who's a biomedical engineering graduate at Arizona State University, about life, his journey so far, and the prospects in that field. And it was quite interesting that at the time we spoke to Gilgal, which was around 3rd June, I mean, the protests in America with George Floyd were actually heating up. You remember?
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah. Yes.
And we asked like, Gilgal, won't you go out there and just say Black Lives Matter? He was like, nah, bro, I ain't doing that.
So that was on the 3rd of June.
3rd of June, yeah.
On the 3rd of June, when we spoke to Gilgal.
Yeah. An interesting conversation, actually.
Yeah, let me see if we can listen to part of it and see how we sounded. I hope we sounded good. Skip. Alright, so
my second try, which was in like first year of university.
First
year was into second year. I heard that those who were in 3rd year then were I think I was in first year. Yeah. So in first year I heard, those who are in 3rd year applying for this MasterCard program, something.
Mm-hmm.
So after my second try, which was in like
so he was talking about how he left
university,
Ghana to
I kind of like gave up
Arizona,
because I was
and
like,
how
Really
the
positive
journey
for
has
yeah,
been
you
so
get
for
it.
sure. Yes, how the journey has
Yeah.
been so far and all that.
Yeah, so Giga was recounting his journey, how he got into ASU and the program he studied and the prospects. Could you skip to the end where we're talking about the fact that biomedical engineering is not really, a hot career option, especially in Ghana, given the lack of infrastructure and industry. Remember that part?
Yeah, I remember, but I don't remember
Programming on
exactly what it was. But then
This is to say that these people have resources from
isn't
elsewhere, not from the country, right? It's international organizations and international bodies that are kind of like moving them, helping them, supporting them to run these projects in the country, in Africa. So personally, I could get support. I can't get support from here as much as I want to do whatever I want to do in the country, right? But I honestly feel that the country should be the one that provides the most support.
Oh wait,
for
we have good news. Silas is calling me.
Okay, let's hear Silas.
Hello, Silas. What's up? When you what? Wait, they've given me a caller tune. They've given me a caller tune. Hey, I didn't know. Anyway, so we're actually recording a podcast and you are on it. It's actually the first episode for next season, and Maxwell decided that we should call you live. Maxwell's on the other line. Say hello, Maxwell. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Yoga, what's up?
Yeah, we're recording right now, and Maxwell's on the other side. Maxwell, can you hear him?
I can hear both of you.
You can hear both of us. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And Silas can hear Maxwell too.
Yeah, I can hear Maxwell. Hi, Maxwell.
Yo, Geek, what's up?
I do.
Charlie, cool. So, the new format is that we'll be having in-house episodes, and I was like, it's been a while since you came on, and we miss your very valuable input. So, putting you on most of the times you have the boys episode. So, are you game? Are you up for it?
Yeah, but you mean like right now?
No, not right now.
No, this is asking
Not
for
right
you
now.
actually.
Because I'll be So, when are you guys doing it?
I think and those episodes will go out on Thursday, but then since you are busy during the week, we can record some of them on weekends, so that we can just upload them as and when we have to, so that it works well with your schedule.
I could actually, I'm actually on leave, but I'm partially working though. But we could do it between let me see, if Tuesday or Wednesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday.
All right.
That works.
All right.
Just
Yeah.
let me know the time that you guys I could.
In fact, that's your schedule.
Yeah, great.
All right.
So I mean, if that works for you guys.
That does.
Yeah, we are jobless, so we have all the time.
Daddy.
All right. All right. So Silas, later. Thanks so much.
Safe.
Bye.
All right, bye. All right. So that was Silas. Anyway, so we're playing the biomedical engineering thing. Let's just move on from Gilgal. So the next one was Charles Addy.
Charles
right?
Addy, yes. We spoke to Charles about a whole lot of stuff. Very energetic conversation, mind you. Charles is the founder of Student of LinkedIn. Where does he school again? I forgot. Where does he school? In the United States, but you remember the school?
Is it Illinois University or something?
Illinois. Okay. All right. So Charles spoke to us about basically preparation for corporate stuff, online content creation, career growth, and how to secure opportunities in that space. Yeah, Charles is doing big stuff. If you're on LinkedIn, you could just check him out, Charles Ade, or also Charles Ade, Arday. Or you could listen. You could do a playback for the episode, season 2, episode 9, on all your podcast platforms.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the conversation a lot, and I had a lot to learn from Charles. And there was one part, if I recall correctly, Charles would emphasize on the importance of a team. Oh, Charlie, my mojo, you are playing the thing. What's up? Okay, you play it.
Sorry. Oh no, continue.
Charles emphasizes on the need for a team when it comes to building stuff, and he's put together a team. Students of LinkedIn, it's not just him, a group of people who are like-minded, and all that. And that really falls into the playbook of every entrepreneur, that you build a very good support system. That way, you could push together with one collective goal. Yeah, that's what he said. You could play it now.
All right, it's just a snippet of
out there is by using hashtag. Hashtag goes a long way, and then also like being authentic. Because being authentic goes a long way. Because people people are able to relate to you, and like it's not like you're just one of those people who just come to fake it.
Your money accent,
it works on you. People are able to like notice, okay, this guy is faking, or this guy is being real and genuine. That's how like literally this girl Akosia like literally used LinkedIn to like and then get a full-time this thing at Microsoft and meet the CEO and Bill Gates' wife and all that, Melinda and all. I'm like, yo, like being real and like talking about your shit like goes a long way, And one thing about Ghana people is like, I have to talk like, I know about AI.
Be professional.
Bro, you don't know about it. Talk about what you know. Talk about things that is affecting you. Like talk about stuff like that. Talk about what you're learning at home, like things you're facing, like this whole like even online thing that the I don't know who if Akufado passed or like you can literally talk about stuff like that, like how it's affecting students, the whole internet infrastructure. How are they going to make sure this thing works? How are they going to monitor? Like there's so much you can talk about.
All right, so I think let's just end it here.
Next one,
Charles.
Season 2, episode 10. That's when self-taught novice went outside Ghana. Went to China. Obviously, Charles and
it was one of our most challenging episodes
from a technical perspective.
Why? Yes, and even with respect to the language barrier too. But then we managed to bring you 45 minutes. 40 minutes. Yeah, we managed to bring you 40 minutes.
And we spoke to, for those who haven't listened, we spoke to Louis Liu, who's the regional business development manager of FJ Dynamics, a company that's into robotics and autonomous vehicle kind of stuff. Yeah, basically for agriculture mainly. So he said they are doing big stuff. They are spreading their tentacles all over the globe. They are in Mozambique. So I think they are in Zimbabwe. And I think South Africa, and they're yet to get to Ghana. Yeah, all that's in the podcast. And he spoke about how Chinese government is going out of its way to ensure that it's training a lot of people. China has like a lot of engineers. Like, I mean, the ratio is staggering if you think about it. There's a part where he said they have almost like 1 million plus engineers, which sort of dwarfs the number in the United States. But of course, that makes sense given their population numbers anyway. But I should tell you that China is doing a lot of stuff. A lot of human resource development is happening there. Africa could copy that model, and we should be on our way. So yeah, Louis Liu was talking about is moving robots to farms. STN episode, season 2, episode 10. Yeah, that was one. 7 June.
Yeah. Then we went to Princess Alote, Queen of Mars.
We went to Itohan Edopolo.
Oh, Itohan. Okay. Yeah. Went to that was also another one from the US. Talking about vertical farming.
University of Texas, Rio Grande or something like that.
Let's be sure of where she's schooled. Yeah, University of Texas, Texas Rio Grande University. Texas Rio Grande University. I don't know who this may benefit, but then I saw something on Facebook. Let me quickly pull it up, and I shared it. So someone said reposting for public sharing original post at Chicago Lanex Scholars Group. So hi everybody, my name is Fernando. I'm a recent MIT grad who attended high school in Pilsen. At MIT semester, I got more aid than the direct cost of attending MIT. So I was essentially paid to attend school. Because of COVID-19, many colleges are waiving their ACT/SAT requirements. This includes a number of private institutions that guarantee to cover full financial need. I want help to reach out to current high school seniors to encourage them to apply. Test scores are the main reason keeping many of the students in our communities away from these colleges. I hope these schools will learn that students are just as capable of succeeding without high scores, which are often more of a measure of privilege. The goal is to eliminate test scores in the long run, but we got that for this school year, so let's spread the word and take advantage of it. Meaning that now they look at you holistically. No, they've not necessarily waived. I'm sure they've waived the pass marks, but they're not necessarily the test itself.
Of course,
and then he say exactly. And so that these schools are waiving SAT requirements while guaranteeing full need without loans. So these are the schools that have waived. So we have Ames
Is he
College,
sure?
Bowdoin. Yeah, apparently it was shared in a group and was shared by someone who I trust at least.
There's some Ivy League stuff going on right there.
Yeah, Brown University, Colby College, Columbia University, Cornell, Dortmund College, Davidson College, Duke
MIT,
University, Harvard University, Haverford College, MIT, Northwestern University, Pomona University, Princeton University, Rice University, Stanford University, Swarthmore College, University of Chicago, University of Pennsylvania, Vanderbilt University, Vasaka College, Washington and Lee University, Washington University and St. Louis, and Wesley College, Williams College, Yale University. This is a non-exhaustive list, and other schools offer almost full need for low-income students. So just in case someone listening to this episode knows somebody, or you yourself are interested, you can just look up these schools and take this information with a grain of salt, as Max mentioned. So just do your own research and find out what the actual requirements are, and apply. You may never know, you may find yourself there. Anyway, so Max, we're moving on. So,
okay, so Itohan, episode 2, season 2, episode 11, we talked about precision farming, and in what was it? We said Itohan says we can plant vegetable indoors. So that was precision farming and vertical farming as well. In a world with burgeoning populations and increased demand for food, the need for innovative and sustainable ways of farming has never been more pressing. Itohan Edopolo, a graduate from Texas Rio Grande University, talks to the boys about hydroponics and vertical farming, a novel way of farming that could disrupt agriculture in Africa as we know it. It's a very powerful episode, and I'm biased because this is a space I studied. So she comes up talking about a lot of stuff that typically people don't know about. And there's this whole new wave of agriculture that looks to maximize resources, or to get the most, or to get good output, little to no water. Sorry, not no water, but little water, little fertilizer, maxing out and planting in small spaces like backyard gardening, abandoned warehouses and stuff like that. So that's hydroponics and precision farming and vertical farming. So all that's in the podcast. Is how many minutes is that podcast again? It's a 41 minute.
45.
Okay, it's a 45-minute podcast, and talk to Itohan and it's interesting. That happened on 10th June. That was published on 10th June. So moving on, the next one.
Yeah, the next one. So we had what's her name? We had Princess Alote. And Princess Alote's episode, for me, it was very empowering because of the fact that if you realize the conversation, Princess speaks from a gender neutral perspective. Princess speaks from a gender neutral perspective, and for me, I like it because you realize that when it comes to our field, no one really cares actually whether you are female or male. So far as you get the work done, you are able to break certain walls. But then that didn't used to be the case some years back, because you realize a lot of females within the field complain about these things. And within the field, I'm talking about STEM education. Yes, STEM education. But then I mean, Princess will go places, and she invited us to a recent presentation.
I think she spoke about that presentation in the podcast, didn't she? You remember?
Yes, but I don't know if she wants other people to.
So I get that.
But then, yeah. So Princess, just
let me take you back with Princess. Before you play, Princess story is particularly motivating for me, given if you look at where she came from and how she has been on a personal level disciplined to pursue what she's been consistent as well, and she's been disciplined. And she also, she mentioned one thing where she said she embarked on an initiative at one or two schools where they wanted to, since she's all about mathematics, they wanted to make the study of mathematics personal for kids. And she goes on to explain how they go about doing that by not just teaching the theoretical aspect, but applying it in their very visible surroundings. Like, I mean, there are mathematical concepts. You try and tell the kids that it's not something you have to imagine with your mind alone, but you can actually live it. And this is very, 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 she's breaking new ground in that space, at least from an African perspective, because when we hear mathematics, physics, and the likes, well, those pure sciences, what comes to mind is something boring, something that weighs on your mind and all that. But she says it doesn't have to be that way. Mathematics, you can live it, you could embody it, it could be personal, and that's what she's doing. So yeah. Dude, I'm done. Could you play that?
Yes, I should play the episode. Sorry. What's this episode?
Oh my goodness.
So this one is this is what Princess was saying.
Right.
Because my school introduced the data science program. Data science is currently known as the sexiest job in the 21st century. Yeah, that's what it's termed now, yes. So I was like, well, for my school's data science program, about half of the requirements are math requirements. So I had most of them. Yeah. About a quarter of the requirements are computer science requirements. I had a number of them. And about a quarter of them, the quarter that's left is about data science, specific data science classes. So I had most of the classes already. So I said, well, why don't I take it up? Because data science is, to me, is more like applying math concepts to exploring big data, exploring data to solve real world problems. So yeah, I was like, yeah, let me just take that on. And what I want to do, I want to be a professor in the mathematical science. So maybe not exactly professor of
Maxwell, yes.
Maths, but maybe professor.
You jump.
I should jump. All right. Oh, feel free to talk.
10 years ago.
You realize that in the
technology, my voice.
Government scholarships and don't come back because there are no systems in place to even absorb them and maximize them. And that's the truth. I'm going to be honest. Like you asked, where does Princess see herself or people in her space learning mathematics be absorbed outside education? And she was trying her best to more or less make sense out of it. That there are some parts in industry that people who study pure mathematics or mathematics to a certain level can find themselves in. But in truth, when you come to the grounds, it's not there. Like she mentioned.
I agree with you.
What
I
is
agree
the
with
motivation?
you, and also I see an opportunity.
Aren't you a positive person?
For me, wherever there's a problem, there's an opportunity. Meaning, someone like Princess can come and set up something that's within a new industry in mathematics.
But is the environment enabling? Is the environment enabling?
Concerning,
that's my question.
But yes.
All right, so I think that's it. Oh, should we continue playing other parts of that?
Nah, I think that's pretty much it. We don't want to give away too much. People should listen. It was an interesting.
Yeah, they should listen to the full thing.
Princess Alote aims at revolutionizing mathematics education in Ghana. STN season 2 episode 12. Next one, I think I missed out on Elizabeth Ameke's own, so I won't talk much. So you have to.
Yeah, so Lizzie's own was basically around what she does with respect to leadership, aerospace engineering, and event organizing and blogging or creating content. And Lizzie is a very versatile person, and she does a lot of these things. So for me, it was I think that would be the right way to put it. And then we had a conversation about so many things. And let me just play part of it so that we can all have a fair.
That we most of the times we get things wrong, or we I don't know, we see things. We all have to know that, as you stated earlier, mentors are not superheroes. Okay, we are all human beings. We are not perfect. Just like how you get to meet motivational speakers. You meeting a motivational speaker and him or her telling you about his or her experience or whatever doesn't mean he or she is a perfect individual. That's one thing we should have at the back of our minds. That, as you said, we are all figuring things out. So that is why we have footsteps, like footprints, footsteps there, so that you don't repeat certain mistakes people have people have made. Let me put it that way. So the reason why I personally have mentors is, and most of my mentors are either in my field, or people I see have made it, like didn't get it easy, but at the end of the day, because I get to learn from them, based on their experiences and the mistakes they've made. It's true, like we all have different parts to do, but when you're able to learn from other people, you get to make sure that this person went this way, it didn't work, but I can also go that way and it will work, but I have to make sure I don't repeat certain things that person did. So that's basically so you don't repeat certain mistakes. So I see mentorship to be a good thing, and myself, mentorship has helped me a lot. Mentorship has helped me.
Yeah.
So she spoke about how mentorship has helped there. And for me, I actually gave my objection to the traditional way of mentorship. And I wouldn't really, it's quite controversial, so I wouldn't really mention it now.
But I'll mention it. Listeners, do you know Obing Obing took her on, if you'd find out if you listen to, Obing took her on about the conventional route that people would usually take with their mentors or mentees and mentor relationship. He felt that it should not be a blind copying thing, and because people inherently are not perfect, and he would much rather prefer that there's no kind of worship of a certain individual, but there's that free-flowing learning environment, because after all, I mean, you have your mistakes, and you wouldn't want to present yourself in a way where you are the ceiling for someone, because it could always get better beyond you. So Obing made quite a compelling case, although Elizabeth didn't quite agree. But yeah, all that's in the episode if you listen. So yeah, Elizabeth Ameke.
Yeah, I mean, I also respect her stance, because for me, I'm an unconventional person, so I agree from that perspective. But a lot of people agree with what she was saying with respect to what mentorship is and how it should be executed and all that. But then for me, I disagree with it, and it works for me, but it may not work for a lot of people. But listen to the episode and listen to what exactly I was talking about. And basically, so moving on.
The next episode, a link between tech life and philosophy. Agana in Syria, Agana.
This podcast was beyond the heads of some people.
Yeah, it was a powerful podcast.
Yeah, it was really philosophical. And basically, so Master, what was it about?
So we spoke to Agana and Syria Agana, who is more or less a man of many talents. That's the best way I could put it, because if you look at his journey from a professional standpoint to a personal standpoint, I mean, he's good at almost everything, but he's not the kind of person who just sit down and do one thing for too long. I mean, he dabbled in the tech space and he obviously excelled, and he's in theology now and philosophy as well. So, I mean, when he personally had me really immersed in the conversation, because we're discussing very abstract stuff and very deep paradigms and all kind of wild parameters. And he wanted to draw the parallel line between Africa as a continent and the fact that we suffer an identity crisis as a people, and neo-colonial elements and all this wild stuff. Not your typical tech podcast, but trust me, it will make an interesting listening. So you'd really need to listen to this one, Link Between Tech Life Philosophy with Agana and Syria Agana. And he's currently a graduate student at master student at the University of Edinburgh. Yeah. So big stuff. Thought-provoking.
So let me just play part of it, and then.
But I think you've answered that. Oh, all right.
So the usual thing for our part of the
been intriguing me since Presec. Okay. So while we were in Presec, my friend Kojo Gambra,
shameless plug,
already a very good programmer. Okay. And I don't know whether you guys had it when you were there, but when we were leaving, between Kojo Gambra and a number of other friends of his, Christian Pels and a few other people, they created an electronic yearbook. Okay. That was on CD. And it was not just a gallery of pictures. It was a very interactive, very animated program, piece of software. You know, that was like a sort of Facebook on a CD, you know. So of course, being on a CD, you can only take the description interactive so far. Right? But that intrigued me, and I remember that during the time when they were working on that, you know, I would go and try and see what they were doing, look at some of the coding and all of that. I was intrigued by how it worked. When I left Presec, even before I went to the University of Ghana, I started to dabble in that area of things because I was curious. You know, it's another part of me. I keep learning a number of things that I know I will not, you know, I will not necessarily take into, you know, a long-term career. But because I'm curious, I like to learn things.
Let me not jinx it. If this is interesting, realize that this episode was 58 minutes of Agana connecting philosophy with tech. And for me, it was an episode that was way above a lot of heads, including ours, but then we're able to learn a lot from it afterwards. Yes. Anyway, so moving on to another fun and interesting episode, which was full of laughter.
Our episode was longer than Agana's episode, but you didn't realize it.
It was we didn't realize it, yes. Our episode was way lengthier, but then it was a very interesting conversation from women empowerment.
Not as abstract as Agana's own.
No, it wasn't abstract. It was very relatable. It was very, very relatable. Yeah. So I will let me just play part of it. She
even showed us underwear.
Situating or making a case for children.
Okay.
It looks like when you go to Europe, or let me call it global north, there are legislative instruments which cater for children in the digital space. Okay. But when you come to Africa, we don't have that kind of situation. And again, we used to be called Jeune Initiative or Young People's Initiative, and our focus was mainly Ghana. Then at about 2018, we started getting requests from other countries in terms of resource parks and stuff like that. So we thought, okay, having started or some interventions, i.e. NiceNet November, Safer Internet Day, Digital Literacy Week, and all of that, just making sure that people get to know and understand what it means to be safe online. It would be good for us to consider the discussion at the regional level. So that was the initial thought. So what did we do? We decided to organize Safer Internet Day Africa. Something that we used to do in Ghana only, because in Ghana, I think we have the track record of starting from one region, then we moved to 2 regions. We then decided to try it in 5 regions. After the 5 regions, we moved into all 10 regions.
Yeah. So not to jinx it, I will speak a lot about these things. And there are actually a lot more episodes to talk about. So let's just quickly run through them.
Probably won't have to play all of them. So after what we spoke to Robert Boateng Bia, sorry.
Robert Boateng Bia. Did you see his recent analysis of the Kantaka?
Charlie, some battery. He dizz me, Charlie. The boy, he's crazy.
He dizz you.
He dazed you. He dazed me.
He dazed you.
I know Siko.
Robert.
He went like full nerd right there. You see that? Like full.
You know, right? So someone wanted to what's the name? Someone wanted to day top. And his Ashesi people came onto the person.
Really? Someone did like make fun of him or something.
Yeah, that something. So Ghanaians and
it backfired, I guess.
Ashesi, it backfired in the person's face. Horrible.
Charlie, everyone has an opinion. That's a sad thing. Anyway, so right. Robert's episode got technical, so technical that I'm going to be honest. I was like the third wheel in that conversation. It was just Dati and Robert rambling technical jargon, and I was trying to keep up. It was a sad thing happening right there. But it was an interesting episode. We spoke about prospects in the robotics, the future application and stuff like that in Ghana. Robert is doing some incredible stuff at Ashesi, right?
He's now with Ashesi. Okay, he's still technical with Ashesi because he joined their incubator and has a startup, a robotic startup.
If you follow a lot in the tech space, you would have heard someone making headlines. It was especially Major Online and stuff like that, having built a drone, a 3D printed drone, right? That was Robert. Yeah, that's Robert. That's so Robert, you have to listen to that episode. Brilliant guy, lots of stuff to tell you. Okay, next one, 26th June, we had Amel Deborah talking about blogging as a full-time job and industry.
Hey, did you watch him yesterday on the United Showbiz show?
The Nama
Brown show. He was on it yesterday.
The cooking show, right? No, the
one with Bulldog. He was a Bulldog, Eugene of Nkonkonsa and Zion Felix. It was a really nice show, and I liked how he comported himself.
Oh, but he's like the toast of the blogging community compared to these Asakala bloggers and 2x4 people, stuff like that. Hey, so Amel really goes deep, talks about how his whole journey started. He attended KNUST. He's an alumnus of the school you and I attended. So seeing him get to where he's gotten to, that's a lot of motivation. I mean, let's be honest, looking at his portfolio, quite impressive. So given that we are pressed for time, I don't even encourage that we play it. But this is an episode that we had a lot of feedback on when it was shared on the platforms, and people really listened from what I gather. So yeah, so go and listen to Amel Deborah talking about blogging as a full-time job and industry trend. That was STN episode 18, season 2. All right, next.
We have
Slick.
Emmanuel Asamoah from Mest. Right. Emmanuel Asamoah also texted me later that he had some issues with respect to certain people thinking he was misogynic because of his
comment,
because of some submissions
in the podcast.
Yes.
By issue disclaimers, he was like, I don't want to sound like that. He said
exactly.
How do people listen to stuff?
Exactly. But then I mean it's the world we. But then we've sorted it out. So
right.
I mean we've sorted that particular issue out. So I mean it's fine.
You can't really win in these streets, can you?
Exactly. But then for me, one thing I believe in is that you should trust your gut or respect to what you say. And for me, I know
at risk of being cancelled.
Something public. Cancelled. You say it in private. Because right now the cancellation there about full.
That's true.
But it doesn't mean that you should. It doesn't mean that it's an excuse to say rubbish and think you go scot free. But then for me, if you are convinced with a sound judgment or a sound what's the name, opinion about something, I feel you should express it, because you can't always win in these streets, and it's a well-known fact. But anyway, so let's
so Emmanuel actually he's an entrepreneur in training at Meltwater School of Entrepreneurship or something like that, is it? Yeah. So Emmanuel's at Melt and he's doing some big stuff. We spoke to him about technology, coming together with training for startups and a whole lot of stuff, and the reason, and we having to scale up our human resource. So Emmanuel on STN episode 19, season 2, that was on 28th June. Then we had Nicholas Talley. Fantastic podcast episode with Nicholas Talley. Nicholas spoke to us about robotics, and he's at Ashesi, and he's also into engineering, similar to, obviously he's a bit higher above, but he's just like doing stuff in the space as Robert. He's taking things a bit on a whole different, pedestal, so to speak. So we sampled his opinion about so many things. We spoke about the gaps, the deficits, the areas that need improvement in robotics. We spoke about hardware, the market for hardware parts in the industry, and support for people in that space. Fantastic interview. Nicholas Talley, Tinkering of Hardware and Development, STN episode 20, season 2. Next.
Yes. Next. We have Foster Awentete Akugri.
Still can't pronounce her name right.
The man Awentete Akugri. We can call him Titi. Yeah.
So, future of work with Foster. It's actually that our episode was mostly predicated on an article I think Foster put out before when the pandemic started, right? And there was an article he was talking about the future of work, unless I'm mistaken, or being. Remember?
Yeah.
So
we published it for him.
So that's on Data Media anyway. So Foster is the one who published that article, and we thought that what other way to discuss with him other than what he wrote on. So we really tear into this whole matter. We said much noise has been made about the fourth industrial revolution and what it will mean for industry and the labor market. Some even regard it as no more than just a fad, but the wholesale change is imminent. In this episode of STN episode, the boys are joined by Foster, an incubator manager, and venture capitalist as they discuss the future of work. So, top stuff, top delivery. Go and listen, yeah?
Yeah. Yes, I think people should listen to these episodes because they are very important. Right. And I mean, there are timeless conversations that had to be had. And there are several other conversations we were supposed to have, but we couldn't have them. So, yeah. And it's all good.
The next one, let's just quickly rush because I think we've spoken at length. Next one,
all right.
How creatives can capitalize with Deborah and Shira. Now, this was a dope one because Deborah was talking about the art space, the creative space, how to monetize it, how to really capitalize properly and all that, and how there's a burgeoning market for creatives in Ghana. You might not see it, but it's happening. Movement is happening. So as a creative, you should really get organizing, scaling yourself up, seeing yourself as commercially viable is the first point as a creative. From what I'm not quoting her verbatim on that, but that's basically what she was trying to say. She was like, you need to have a plan, you need to brand yourself, so many stuff. Deborah Inshura talking about how creatives can capitalize. STN episode 22. Then we moved on to navigating a not so simple craft of photography with Nana Sumini. Yeah, another asset.
Yeah, Asumeni started a YouTube channel recently, and he's raking some mad views.
Really?
And that's
nice.
Yeah,
nice.
He's raking a lot of views. So it's Nana Sumini on YouTube. So anyone listening to this,
what kind of channel is it? Is it vlogs or something in particular, like a tech channel?
I think his focus is on just vlogs and the background stuff.
Yeah, so Nana Sumini is an iPhone photographer, very very handy with almost any camera, whether phone or whatnot, and you see, it was actually very funny that the episode before him was with Deborah, who talked about how creators can capitalize. Then we had Nana saying that, he's not about the money. I was like, what? How can he not be about the money? I mean, that struck a nerve with me. I was like, Charlie, what you they need? But your boy say he's about passion. I was like, passion doesn't pay the bills, dude. Passion doesn't pay.
Everyone has their opinion when it comes to how they exercise.
Yeah, go on and say opinion, right? Say opinion. You there, and what's your bottom line for that thing? It's not cash out. There is opinion. Anyway, so Nana's many talks at length. He also talks about the fact that it's not just having a camera. Photography is way more of a bigger deal than people make it seem. Although now the entry level has gone low with very good features coming to your phone. They are not DSLR standard yet, but they still can do a lot. So he talks about stuff like that. Very, very interesting, lively conversation with Nana Sumini. Then, female empowerment with Ajwa Fusua, the founder of Women Haven Africa, an entrepreneurship co-working space and movement, so to speak, in Kumasi. Yeah, she's doing big stuff as well. Yeah, we talked to her about so many stuff, how women are being given opportunities and how best they can take advantage of them, and how women need to unlearn so many stuff to really step up to the plate and take advantage of all the resources that are coming. Because let's be honest, the future is looking like it's to the advantage of women. So since we are on a mission to dismantle patriarchy, so to speak, so all that is feeds into a very well-rounded conversation with Ajwa. You need to listen to it. STN episode 24. Then to the last one, Obing.
The last one we are looking at with Max or Beggar name. I think Max, you are the one who was talking.
Okay, so this one, This one also ties into one with Awo about internet safety. Well, it's not really woven, but on a surface level, they are more or less related because digital citizenship as a concept, as we discussed with Max or Beganem, is really not understood. It's new, and we find that people don't really know what it takes, from revenge porn or leaking of all kinds of inappropriate material online to hate speech online to intellectual property violations online. So many things. It's a broad thing. We didn't really exhaust the conversation. There was much to be discussed, to be honest, and
a lot more to be discussed.
Yes, there's a lot more. And unfortunately, because of time, and we don't want to bore your ears off because we can't talk too long. We had to cut the conversation short, but we promised Max that we'll get back to him on a later date. So yes, we'll have another episode with them. But you should listen to this one where we talk to Max Obeganem, who's an educationist and digital enthusiast, about digital citizenship and how it combines the IT for effective education. So that wrapped up season 2 for us, and we went on a break, and we are back again.
Yeah, we are back. And I want us to do something. I want us to change the cover art live. But then I'm having issues uploading it.
You want to change it live, but it's an audio. Which is weird. So would it even have any relevance?
Yeah, so to us at all, we care about us mainly.
I was also thinking calculated that one.
But then I'm having issues. Right?
Okay.
But then it's uploading in Kaka. But I don't know. I pray this one works because it keeps telling me that you exhausted the memory.
Really?
I don't understand what that means. Yeah. But the file size doesn't see allowed memory size of this has been exhausted. Try to allocate this and that. Alright, I'll figure that out later. So no, it looks like it's not happening, which is quite unfortunate. Anyway, so guys, that was last season.
Recap.
That was last season, a recap from last season, and we are going to continue bringing you more because our main focus is consistency and making sure that we inform anyone listening to this episode, because I even had feedback from someone in the US saying that someone who wasn't a Ghanaian citizen was listening to the episode, and even though the person didn't really understand some of the references, they liked the episode and they were interested in it and all that. So it's a step in the right direction, and it's good for business.
Follow your heart.
So
now you're saying it's good for business. You see, hey, you must be consistent, my brother. You must be consistent. Anyway,
I mean, it's all about bottom line. Anyway, I think
we are wrapping up. Just like last season, we're always open for feedback. When you listen, please leave a comment on whatever platform, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, whoever is syndicated to, give us feedback, or you could reach out to any of us on our various social media pages, and we promise to be interactive. We really need a feedback because it really informs. I know we make data-driven decisions as well, but we need certain opinion-based feedback as well to see what your real take is and whatever. And since we are going to be discussing trending issues and news and stuff like that, if you've heard something or you hear something that you feel you want us to weigh in on, just jump at us, let us know, and we will discuss it in the in-house episode. So
so I think Maxwell has said everything, and thankfully we are also going to start uploading full versions on YouTube, just so that we can increase our reach. Because that's currently the podcast is one of the main contents that we produce. So at least to increase our reach and to get more people listening to us, we are going to use YouTube too.
It's a pity we can't do
so that will be another major change.
Apparently, our main technical director says it's too much work. I'll see him in chambers to talk to him about why we can't do video episodes.
Yeah, we'll see him in chambers.
But that's not why we pay him to give us, top-notch work, not excuses, but keeps on giving us. Sure.
Exactly. He keeps on giving excuses. So we'll talk to him and we'll see how best he can remedy that situation for us.
The camera is off?
But then, yes, my camera is off. Yes, but then by next week, that issue should be over. Anyway, so I think, is that all?
Yeah,
is that all?
Basically sums it up.
So that basically sums up the intro of this. Hey, I've put off my TV.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Okay, so I think I made a mistake and put off the TV. That basically sums up. All right, sorry. I think I made a mistake and so. Oh no, it's all part of the experience. It's all part of the experience.
So extreme.
But then so we are back. All right, so I think that's it. And don't forget to message us on social media with your opinions and stuff. And we hope you enjoyed this uncut episode of Greatness. I mean, it's a pleasure for you to listen to two white men.
That is so corny. Greatness, saying.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's good to listen to great men. I mean, there's no ways you get a chance to. Yeah.
Could you quit corny?
There's no ways you get a chance to. So I mean, it's all good. I don't know if you recorded the last parts, but I think it did. Anyway, all right. So Max, that's it from us.